Hello everybody, San here, engineer, MBA, and investor. In today's video, I want to talk about the latest revision of Beam Therapeutics and Verve Therapeutics deal that they have going here. They have a partnership. We've known that for a while, but today it was breaking news that they have filed for an SEC filing stating a revision of that deal that they have going, and we'll take a look at it in this video. So the top story of today in the CRISPR landscape is this, right? Verve and Beam rejig their genome editing pact. Of course, Verve is using their technology from base editing by Beam Therapeutics. So everything about Verve Therapeutics, at least half of it is going to go to Beam if they, of course, opt in up until today, because what has happened here is in an SEC filing, Verve Therapeutics announced on Thursday, so today, that it will now do additional things here. So it will, over here it says Beam granted Verve a license toward an additional liver-mediated cardiovascular disease. Verve will be responsible for developing, commercializing, and so on, and subject to Beam's opt-in right. But here's the kicker. Beam can opt in to share 35% of development expenses, commercializations, profits, and so on. If Beam decides not to opt in, it will be entitled to receive milestones and royalties. So this is a couple of things here. First of all, this is an amended arrangement. So previously, this was in 2019, before Verve went public, obviously. It was agreed that base editing would be used from Beam Therapeutics, but they would give basically 50%, right? In this case now, they're not changing that deal that was made in 2019. What they're doing now is adding additional program, but along that additional program, they're only going to go for 35%. Beam Therapeutics will only go for 35%. So that means Verve Therapeutics will have more than 50%. They'll be the majority owner of that program, even if Beam opts in. Of course, if Beam doesn't opt in, then Verve will own 100% outright. But chances are they will, of course, opt in, assuming that the data is correct and so on. Which actually, not to like go on a tangent here, but I mean, it's an amazing deal. I'm happy for both companies. We'll see what happens, but ultimately we have to go through phase 1 trials. There's no way around it for Verve Therapeutics. So to me, I think that's great. It's great. You guys already know me and my channel. We believe in science. We believe in data. And I have not seen any human data from Verve Therapeutics. And until then, all these programs, deals can come about. And I think it's amazing for Beam Therapeutics. It solidifies their base editors, solidifies what the company is all about, becoming a platform rather than a company specializing in a specific set of programs. I think it's amazing. Of course, we saw that with Pfizer dealing with Beam Therapeutics. So this shouldn't be a surprise. What is a surprise is they're going under 50%. But I've heard certain comments on that, and I think it's a good time now to segue into some of the reactions here. So Professor Oak on Twitter said, some targeting swapping for Beam Therapeutics, adding a new target to existing collaboration. Beam can opt in at 35% versus 50% for PCSK9. In return, Beam getting IP from an undisclosed Verve program and an option to license Verve's LNP. Doesn't it warrant a PR press release? And I agree. Both of these websites, companies, so Verve Therapeutics or Beam Therapeutics, if you go right now at the time of this video in their investors' relations, and if you take a look at their news section, they don't announce this. The only way to find these details is from the mandatory SEC filing. And I agree with Professor Hoke here. It does warrant a PR because you're actually adding a new program into play here with a new partnership, adding a new partnership to an existing set of partnership with both companies, right? Let's take a look here. Some people are speculating what it could be. And then CRISPR Tommy said, just another river feeding into the Beam ocean. So he's basically joking here, but basically saying it's great for Beam. Beam's getting so much So many wins here, and of course, this is a big win for Beam. Yes, I was looking at neither company issued a press release yet. Basically another shot on goal, and to me shows Verve realizes this much like Pfizer how powerful base editing is. Also, Beam must like LNP to do 35 instead of 50. No need for Beam to reinvent the wheel here since Galnac LNP delivers good efficiency as already shown by Verve. So a couple of good comments here, a couple of speculations previously seen in the other tweets there. So the previous deal and this new target is 35%. Okay, so they're just repeating here. So amazing news here for Beam Therapeutics shareholders, because now you're getting an additional program from a company that you already have a partnership from. I think it's amazing. The only surprising thing, well, there's two surprising things. I guess the 35% is sort of justified there. Anyways, it's still good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 35%. Better than 0%, right? The only thing I would say is I'm surprised that either companies did not set out a press release. Not sure what's up with that. I mean, both companies realize, they are both public companies, so they must publish a SEC filing. This is by law. So if they don't do that, the SEC will sue them back or whatever happens after that. So I'm just surprised neither companies decided to set out a PR. I'm not sure what would be the reason. Maybe they've sort of agreed to a future date for the PR. Maybe they're still working on it. Maybe they want to revise the deal. Who knows? Maybe that's just one of many filings to come. Who knows? We're just speculating. That is the big surprise. But putting that aside, great news for Beam Therapeutics. I think it's an okay news for Verve Therapeutics. I think it solidifies their partnership. So it is what it is. All Beam shareholders here should be happy, should be satisfied here. It's an amazing time to live in. Like I said, don't look at the stock price, guys. Look at the science. Look at these partnerships. Look at what's going on in the landscape. Talking about the stock price, I believe if we scroll down here, this article actually states that Verve was up 14% at some point today, and Beam Therapeutics were up over 13%. Well, clearly these news hit the public markets, and you can expect a lot more in the upcoming year. I think a lot of people will be shocked to see, what type of partnerships we get out of this, not just from Beam Therapeutics. I'd love to see partnerships from other companies like Caribou and TLA, CRISPR Therapeutics, sorry. They're like nicknamed CRISPR-Cas9 these days. But anyways, I'll end this video like this, guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video. As always, subscribe if you're not. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful Thursday night.